Go.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of the Perpetual Protocol Community Call. This is call number 30. I guess it's 37, although maybe the YouTube cover says 36. Anyway, the number is getting pretty high, so it's easy to get mixed up, but I believe it's 37. Welcome, everybody. Glad to see you all here. And yeah, looking forward to the latest edition. We've got lots of interesting stuff to talk about. Welcome, everybody. Glad to see you all here. And so, yeah, looking forward to the latest edition. Introduce who we have on the call today. Lots of interesting stuff. Welcome, everybody. Glad to see you all lots of familiar faces. So, yeah, looking forward to the latest edition. Introduce
everybody.
All right, Andrew's in a giant cave today. We've got Leonie. Hi, Leonie.
Hey, Lee. Hi, everybody.
How are you? All right, and we've got Houston, as always. Hi, Houston. How you doing?
Good, thank you, Lee. Good day, everyone. Good evening.
All right. Now, last time, if I'm not mistaken, I promised everyone that Hannah would be back for this call. And in fact, Hannah is here. You just can't see her. Maybe she'll show herself at some point. She's in the background controlling the horizontal and the vertical. So she is here in spirit, although you don't see her. So, maybe we'll just have a warm-up question for the call today. And in the chat, you can press, you can answer in the chat. And I'm just going to open the chat so I can see it here. Just give me a second. All right. So the warm-up question today is, do you want Hannah to come back and be the host, or do you want me to keep hosting? So if you want Hannah, press 1. If you want me, press 2.
That sounds like a trick question to me.
All right. So now that we get that out of the way. Yes, not at all. Anna already answered 2. That's not fair. Oh, someone answered 3. Oh, that's, yeah, nice. All right. Well, I'm at least glad to hear that everybody can hear what we're saying. That's good. Someone says 1 + 2 = party. I like that. All right. Okay, so I guess I'm going to take that answer then. We'll both do it. All right. Anyway, I can just chat about some news. It's not the latest news at this point, but it's sort of it's pretty significant in our space, which is the Mango hack. So if you're not familiar, Mango was is a perpetual contracts trading platform on Solana, and they had a sort of economic exploit performed by, it seems now a known person. They ended up getting doxxed, as far as I understand. But at the beginning, they managed to steal over $100 million from the platform, which is impressive just in the amount of money that was available to steal, I think. But yeah, really crazy hack. Any of you guys see that? Hear news about that?
Yeah, pretty wild set of events there, especially in the fact that now he's returned a lot of the money and appears to be getting away scot-free with it. So I think top of mind to me is, it's always the question is what he did an exploit, or is it a hack? And to what degree is as a community are we is this a norm, right? So is this kind of code is law, or is this sort of is this actually a hack? So I think it's interesting to see people voice different opinions about that. Clearly, if you got your money stolen, it's a hack. But if you're on the outside looking in, then you might think it's an exploit, right? But it really depends on what side of that what side of that line you're standing on.
Yeah, it's definitely a tricky area. And I mean, this is not the first time that somebody did a hack, stole a bunch of money, and then, some time later started saying, oh, I'll give it back if whatever conditions are met. So you wonder, like, is this really a legit white hat, or is it someone who wanted to steal it and then realized it wasn't going to go well for them and changed their mind and became a white hat sort of halfway through? It's not too sure.
I think what's interesting about that one was
definitely
that he
opens...
kind of voted on his own governance proposal with the stolen tokens. So yeah, questionable, but yeah.
Yeah. Did you see his recent comments on Twitter? So he's definitely turned to a bad guy now, right? So he's playing it up. He's actually got some good alpha that he's dropping lately, last couple of days. But he's asking folks if anyone's looking for some prop DeFi traders. Him and his team are now, I guess they're willing to use their skills, to make some other people some money. But he looks like he's an open mercenary now and accepting capital. So DM him if you want some mercenaries to work for you. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I guess, if you get a 15 minutes of fame, you might as well cash in as much as you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next, he'll be selling.
It's a funny
merch.
world because it doesn't seem to be a crime, right? It doesn't seem to be a crime at this point. Well, I don't know. It remains to be seen, but it doesn't seem to be if they give the money back and people seem to be okay with it, and is it really a crime? It's a very gray area. So
it is a gray area. Although I think, let's say as a user, somehow in this process, you ended up, it's very possible that you lost money that you're not going to get back one way or another. So could you go and then sue that guy for something? I don't know. It seems like, very much a legal gray area. And who knows what we'll see, but definitely DeFi is never boring. So that's did everyone see that Aptos launch? I assume it's pronounced Aptos. I actually don't know how to pronounce that.
I don't think it went off as well as they could have hoped. I think the backlash from the community has been pretty strong on that one, which is nice to see. Which is very nice to see. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we need to self-police ourselves and not wait for the regulators to come in and do the work for us. So I'm very actually happy to see that the pushback has been quite strong and that we're creating some norms around the fact that it's not okay to create projects where you're just dumping, potentially just dumping tokens on retail. I think that's just bad taste, and I think it's pretty shameful. So I'm glad the community is kind of saying, this is not okay. So remains to be seen what happens after this, but people still ape in and still ride this thing, even though they know that there's a bunch of investors in front of them. But I think generally the technology doesn't look great right now. Last couple of days, first 2 days, but the tokenomics clearly look unfavorable for most retail people. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bizarre. I mean, tokenomics it's not a mature space yet, but we've definitely made a lot of progress in the last 2 or 3 years. So you'd figure things coming out now would have like the latest and greatest tokenomics, and apparently it doesn't appear to be the case. So just to keep things moving along, there's a couple of other sort of small items. I noticed that Twitter added an edit button finally. That's a long time coming. Hopefully everyone will get excited about that. Although it's not available to everybody yet, it seems like just maybe some more major accounts have it, and we'll hopefully see that for the rest of the world soon. Any of you excited for the edit button? Are you going to be editing all kinds of Twitter posts now? Or maybe none of you are big Twitter users. I don't know.
Unfortunately, I don't think I've actually posted a tweet in this year. I share from our Perpetual Protocol account, but I haven't really posted anything on my own, so I don't know if I'll be editing.
Well, that can be your first edit then, is to actually start posting. Edit your meta first, and then you can edit the tweets.
I'm curious to see how it turns out, and I wonder if they will make it like that there's a note that says that it has been edited. I think that would be interesting, because otherwise you can just edit what you said before, and it's kind of defeating the point a bit. But yeah, curious to see how it turns out, and curious to try it out myself, because so far my account doesn't have it yet.
Yeah, me neither. I haven't seen the feature yet either. But I presume you'd have to have it. Otherwise, it would ruin the whole timeline of many people. So yeah, there's no accountability. You just change any of your predictions. So yeah, I agree.
Well, on the tweets that I've seen that got edited have like a little like a pencil next to it, and you can click on that, and it'll show the edit history in a pretty clear way. And it seems like the comments on the different edits actually are a little bit separated out. I'm not exactly sure, but like each of the edits has their own comments, it would appear. I don't know, it's a little weird. So there are people who are asking, like, what's the difference between just deleting the tweet and posting it again? Like, it's kind of, there's sort of lacks some continuity there, but anyway, we'll see, who knows? I mean, for all we know, it's a work in progress, so we will see. I'm assuming there is a reason they rolled it out to just some accounts. They're probably just testing it to see what happens.
Yeah.
I also noticed kind of funny news for me anyway. There's now apparently a Ripple sidechain. I don't know if everybody knows what Ripple is. It's like one of the older crypto projects that's been around for a long time, but it has I don't know. It's somewhat controversial. Like, people either think it's a scam or they think it's amazing. And now they have a sidechain, which apparently will become EVM compatible at one point. So the question is, like, why would you use it instead of Ethereum? But I guess, yeah, for Ripple people, that's great news. I just thought it's pretty funny, like Ripple sidechain. Like, what are we going to see next?
I've heard their lawsuit with the SEC is going to come to an end pretty soon too. That's the rumor. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought was, like, why, if I use Ripple sidechain, does that now, it's like sort of like Ethereum plus SEC liability? Like, I don't know. The use case is not clear to me, but anyway, who knows? Maybe it's the future.
Ripple has their army, you get some real Ripple diehards, and they will not go away. So yeah,
that is true.
Yeah,
that is true.
I don't want to anger them. They'll go after you. So
their tenacity is something else. It makes me wonder if they're actually human or if they're bots. But anyway. All right. So yeah, let's get into it. And well, just before we do, we have one thing we'd like people to check out. we have a governance proposal. Actually, there's a recent governance proposal that passed, which is to fund the Perpangelist program, which is really great news, especially for the Perpangelists who've they're very enthusiastic and really have gotten into this the program. So we're really excited to see that the community approved that and keep them funded for the next 6 months. And part of that proposal, something interesting about it was it used a new governance process that we're proposing as well, sort of as a trial run. And now that the trial run, we think, went pretty smoothly. So the next step would be to actually ratify that new updated process. I know this doesn't sound all that exciting, but it is a pretty major thing for the protocol. So we're asking you to please go and check out that governance proposal. Just give it a quick read. If you have any comments or thoughts, definitely let us know. And yeah, we posted the link in the chat, so go and check that out. Take a look, leave a comment. If you don't want to bother setting up an account on that forum, that's fine. You can let us know in Discord. But we'd love to hear what you think about it. And the plan right now is to launch a vote to ratify that proposal next week. So check it out, and hopefully we'll hear from you. Looking forward to your comments. And last but not least, as always, anything we say on this call or discuss is not financial advice, including, Aptos and Ripple sidechain. Like, do your own research, and this is not financial advice. All right. Let's get started with the actual project news that we have for this week, for the last 2 weeks. So let's get right into it. We've got actually several sort of more technical updates that occurred in the last little while. I guess the most major of which is this IF soft circuit breaker, and it's a little bit complicated. Basically, well, IF stands for insurance fund, as I'm sure you know. And basically, it tweaks the way that the insurance fund mechanism works very slightly. In the past, the insurance fund could be, if it was drained, in some sort of major event like a sudden price movement or other severe market event, which is a very rare and unusual thing. But we want to, take every precaution that we can against the possibility of it happening. So previously, it was possible for people who earned money in this sort of major event where the insurance fund was drained to withdraw those funds from the exchange, which creates a bit of a risk, just a risk for the solvency of the exchange overall. So the update that was made basically will limit the ability of anybody who earns money in this sort of major event from withdrawing their funds until the insurance fund returns to a certain level. So let's say the insurance fund suddenly goes to zero and you've made a bunch of profit off that. Your profit is still guaranteed. It's just you may not be able to withdraw that profit right away, and you'll have to wait for the insurance fund to build back up before you're able to actually withdraw. So this basically adds an extra layer of protection to the protocol, where if there's some sort of some severe crisis or event that happens, the protocol can maintain solvency and ensure that all the users' funds are safe. And at the same time, it's not exactly like a typical auto deleveraging type of mechanism. In this case, if you did profit a lot, you can just wait, and eventually you will be able to withdraw your funds. It just may, there'll be some sort of delay while the protocol, regains stability and so on, and the market calms down. So that's the first thing. If you have any questions about it, of course, just let us know. It's a little bit more on the complicated side. So welcome to fire off any questions you have about it. All right, and the next thing is the migration to the Goerli testnet. I think we actually did talk about this last week, in the last community call. As I recall, we had a pronunciation guide from Leone, which was very excellent. So that migration has completed. All of the contracts that were previously on Kovan have now been deployed on Goerli, and yeah, there's a list of contract addresses if you're into that. Now, some users have asked us when the web UI that connects to the testnet contracts will be up, and actually we haven't gotten around to that yet because the team has been focused and working really hard on improving the RPC request issue that's been ongoing for the last couple of weeks. And I'm sure some of you have noticed the app.perp.com UI being a bit slow or not responsive at some points. And it's due to sudden increase in RPC requests from our UI. And initially, we weren't really sure what the problem was. So it took a little while to investigate that and make a couple of quick fixes. Things should be a lot better, although I have heard reports that like for Firefox and Brave browser users, there still are some issues. So if you do see issues, let us know. But at the same time, we are looking into those sort of outstanding issues and hopefully can get that taken care of. All this to say that focusing on that has delayed the update of the actual web UI for testnet. So that's still in the future, but should be back up online soon. So testnet enthusiasts, hold on, it's gonna come. All right, we also had a couple of contract parameter updates, basically related to sort of risk handling on the platform. The ETH collateral cap was increased. There's a lot more ETH liquidity on Optimism right now, so the cap was increased for that. So if you're interested in doing basis trading, you can now deposit ETH as collateral, or if you just want to use ETH as collateral for other things, there's a lot more room for doing that now. And finally, on the contract parameter updates, we have updated the max spread ratio. Basically, what this does is prevents you from providing liquidity if the mark and index price deviates by a certain amount. And it used to be 20%. We've reduced it down to 10% for a variety of reasons, and it just ensures more stability and security for the protocol. If the market index price deviates by a substantial amount, and 10% is a substantial amount, that could indicate that there's some sort of attack going on or something like that. So this prevents some price manipulation attacks and stuff like that. All right, moving along, we have an update for liquidity mining. And at this point, all right, I thought I was going to turn this topic over to someone else, but it's still me. So yeah, we updated, we had it's sort of a major update to the way that liquidity mining is calculated. I think most users will not really notice a big difference in the rewards that they receive, but basically it uses a calculation method that's closer to the one used by Uniswap, Uniswap v3, and adds an element of the amount of time that you provide liquidity, as well as how concentrated the liquidity. So the narrower the price range that you use, the more rewards you can receive. But of course, the fundamental requirement is that the liquidity that you provide to be in range. So it's sort of an update to help ensure that the people who are providing liquidity over a longer period are the ones who, obviously, the longer you provide liquidity, the more risk you're exposing yourself to. And for that reason, we want to make sure that those liquidity providers are the ones who get rewarded, as opposed to people who are providing over a very short time period, especially since there is a potential sort of wash trading opportunity in the previous system, where you could provide liquidity for basically one block, trade against yourself with another account, and then remove the liquidity very, very shortly after that. And that way you've earned the liquidity fees, and you've also earning the liquidity mining rewards without really exposing yourself to a high amount of risk. So we want to definitely avoid that kind of behavior where basically you're just wash trading. So that's the main goal of this update. If you are a liquidity provider and you've been relying on those liquidity mining rewards, and you notice some sort of change, the first time that, like this week, actually this formula will be used for the distribution. So on Monday, when you get your rewards, if you notice something looks pretty weird, definitely let us know and we'll take a look at it. And we just want to make sure everything is running properly and smoothly and as expected. So definitely let us know if you see something unusual. All right, moving on to marketing and partnerships. I will now turn the microphone over to Andrew. Can you talk to us about the program updates?
Yes. So we've spoken extensively now over the past few weeks about overhauling our referral program, and it's now officially live. So on October 17th, it was the first day that the updated referral rewards were distributed. So if you're looking at that distribution and you're a little confused as to what your numbers look like, then I highly recommend you submit a ticket in our Discord so we can take a look and help walk you through it. And then the second piece is if you're now someone who's in the bear market trying to figure out a way to make some income, maybe you have a following or maybe a few friends that are interested in trading, this is a great opportunity for you. Creating your own referral code, reaching out to them, helping onboard them into Perpetual Protocol, because in exchange, you'll generate fees as a reward for yourself, and they will get a discount on fees that they trade with. So highly recommend taking a look at the program if you haven't yet, as a real nice means to supplement income in a bear market.
Excellent. You want to take us into the socket integration?
Yeah, of course. So then on top of that, we've also integrated with Socket. We have multiple integrations with the Socket team. We're quite close with them. They've done a lot of brilliant work out there. But in this case, they have a nice bridge, which essentially identifies the cheapest and fastest ways to transfer your funds automatically on your behalf. So the integration should be live. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's now live on the platform, but it's just one of the options if you're looking to bridge funds over. And I highly recommend giving it a try because it automates a lot in the background.
Yeah, that's great. There's so many options out there. And as always, of course, for this bridges, we definitely recommend before you use it, just maybe search their name on Twitter to see what's going on. If there's a hack or something that's in progress, then for sure people will be talking about it on Twitter. That's not to say that, Socket's going to get hacked, but, bridges are a DeFi app like any other. And before you use it, you just want to make sure that things are, running smoothly and as expected. So yeah, avoid any surprises by just giving it a quick search on Twitter and you're good to go. Should be good to go. All right, rolling on. We've got, I guess we had a community event, trivia night. Houston, you want to talk to us about that?
Yeah, I'll give a quick shout out as well. So it looks like we have Solace on the live chat. So he was the one that actually hosted this community, our first community trivia night. So our inaugural community trivia night. So it was a bit of a difficult time for some people. Obviously, the time zone wasn't great for everyone. So thanks for the folks who did show up. It's kind of a quiet, quieter event because it was a weird time zone for some of us. But I did show up. I actually did win a round as well, just to pat my back a bit. Second place. But Baron Wizard in the live chat, aka Terrorect, he was also one of the winners. So kudos to Terrorect for winning one of the prizes. But we'll be doing another community event shortly, and we'll talk more about that later on in the call. But we're doing a bunch of events this quarter, so we'll talk more about that later in the call. But definitely stay tuned to our Discord if you want to hang out and get a chance to win some more prizes. But kudos once again to Solace for putting it on. It was a fun event.
Sounds good. Yeah, unfortunately, I missed that one, but I'm hoping to make the next one. All right, Leonie, do you want to talk to us about the Twitter space we had with DeCommas?
Yeah, sure. So last Wednesday, we had a Twitter space together with DeCommas, and their founder, Salty Narwhal, joined us. And Lee did a great job hosting the space. So jump in if you have anything to add that I'm missing now. I think Salty Narwhal, he shared many details about DeCommas, what they're doing, how it came about, and obviously shared more about their strategy, their basis trading strategy built on top of Perp, which generates yield from opening a derivatives position on Perp while also holding a spot position and collecting the funding rate when it's positive. And they actually just recently got another small grant from us to kind of incentivize the strategy a bit, as it has to still become profitable. But they share more about that in the Twitter space. So I encourage you to check it out. And as a goodie, they announced on the during the space that they will raise the deposit cap to 100,000 USDC, since before it was capped at 50K. And it actually already filled up. I think it was filled up like a few hours after the announcement. So currently you cannot deposit, but I think they will continue to monitor the strategy, how it goes, and then raise the cap if it goes well.
Yeah, it's definitely for anybody who is interested in trading, and especially like trading tools that you can use to automate various strategies. DeCommas, the group behind DeCommas, is pretty interesting, and Salty talked a lot about that during the space, actually. So I definitely recommend checking that out. And yeah, it was pretty funny. He announced that during the space he announced they doubled the cap, and it was literally like within a few minutes, or just before I think the space, that they increased it. So it's kind of a nice surprise. But I'm impressed that it's filled up really quickly. That's great news. And I'm sure, like Leonie said, they'll be monitoring the progress of it and updating the cap as time goes on. So keep an eye on that. All right, and we've also got some team and ecosystem updates, including new tutorial videos. Leonie, can you talk to us about it?
Yeah, so we recently uploaded 2 new videos, and they both share ways how you can earn rewards on Perp. And the first one is staking in the Lazy River program. So we shared a bit about it in the product updates, I think. It's basically a staking program where you can stake Perp, but now on Optimism, like our V2 staking kind of. And it's the precursor of fee sharing. So you can lock Perp, and then you will receive Perp, which are based on 10% of the amount of trading fees generated, with a cap of 25K Perp, I think. So if you want to participate in that one, you need to have Perp on Optimism and then lock it on token.perp.com. And then you will receive Perp rewards every Thursday. The snapshot is taken, I think, Thursday the week before at midnight. So if you want to participate, you need to lock until then. So you have a few hours left if you want to be included in the next rewards distribution. So that's one way. And then the other way is our referral program that we mentioned before. You can join as a trader, then you will get rebates on your trading fees, or you can join as a referral partner, and you will earn rewards which are based on the amount of trading fees that traders generate that use your referral link. So yeah, that's basically those 2. And if you want to have a step-by-step tutorial how to do that, what the programs are all about, you can watch the videos.
All right, sounds good. Definitely check those out. All right, moving on, we'll have our grants update. Andrew, can you talk to us about this?
Yeah, so as a quick reminder, we do have a fully functioning grants program at Perpetual Protocol, which basically funds new and exciting projects in the DeFi space that are looking to engage, interact, or build on top of our protocol. So if you're interested in learning more about the grants, you can go onto our website. If you want to learn more about who we funded recently, you can hop onto the newsletter and click that little highlighted here right there. But I will shout out one group, the Crypto in Carry project, because they are pretty close to finishing. But what they are building is a funding rate arbitrage dashboard for users to be able to see basically ARB opportunities between FTX and Perp. So really excited to see that, because it'll give those types of traders a little advantage into their practice. So excited to have them roll that out. Should be coming pretty soon.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm always happy to see new grants coming in. And I actually noticed recently this some of our really long-term community members have also started grants, so that's really cool. So if you got an idea for something you want to build, some kind of tool, some kind of just anything that can integrate with us or build on top of us or make things easier or better for our users, then definitely let us know, and we'll hook you up with the grants committee. And yeah, your grant could get funded, your project could get funded, and that does include, if I'm not mistaken, the possibility of long-term funding if if the thing that you're building requires that.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of build a grant plan to accommodate the needs of the project. So, there may be different milestones you have to hit to unlock funding, but it doesn't have to be all at once, and it can be something that continues to grow over time. So we've seen some really amazing projects and builds come out of the program.
Awesome. All right, I think we're just about done, but there is one item that is not actually on here that should be. Houston, can you tell us about an upcoming poker event?
Yeah, let's talk about that. So this will be we're doing the third now poker night, and it's not yet announced, but I'll give you a sneak peek. The date's going to be October the 29th. So that is I believe that's a Saturday, depending where you live. So it's going to be October 29th, East Coast time in the evening. That's all right. No, Friday. Oh, it is Saturday. It is Saturday the 29th. Asia time. So like in Taiwan, it'll be in the evening. But if you live in Europe or North America, it may be Friday evening. Okay. There you go. So I got my times all mixed up. But shout out to Night Lotus, who's one of our community members leading the games. This again will be the third one, and once again, there's gonna be some great prizes, some good competition. I think Andrew's always up there close to the winner spot. So
always just ahead of Hannah. That's right.
That's always the goal. So again, there's no fee to join. So we'll be announcing that shortly. Be sure to sign up and get a chance to compete against your fellow perpetual community members and get a chance to win those cool prizes.
Awesome. Yeah, looking forward to that. I'm personally not a poker player, but we definitely have some in the audience. So yeah, looking forward to that. All right, as usual, we wrap up with some further readings. Leonie, can you give us a rundown?
Yeah, sure. So the first one, what is technical analysis? So technical analysis is basically the study of past price action to be able to predict or forecast probabilities with how future prices may turn out, and then base your trades on that. And the article covers basically 5 broad elements, which are chart types. So the most common is candlestick charts. You probably have seen them. And then secondly, determining the trend using moving averages. So if you're in a bearish uptrend, a bearish downtrend, or a bullish uptrend, then goes on about gauging momentum. So oscillators you can use to measure the rate of change in a trend, if a trend is accelerating or if it's slowing down. Then also evaluating volatility. So you probably have noticed, like right now, we don't have much volatility, but if it's not as drastic as it is now and obviously visible, there are different tools you can use to get a feeling of what volatility is doing. And then as the 5th part, it covers identifying chart patterns. So with patterns, you usually try to find or highlight trend continuations or reversals. And then the article goes on to cover like the pros and cons of technical analysis, because you obviously have other types of analyses as well, like the one, like the 3rd article that is mentioned, what is fundamental analysis. So that's another tool to like base your investment decisions, where you analyze the publicly available information about an asset to try to determine its fair value. So you try to basically find out if it's undervalued or overvalued, compared to the fundamentals and what it offers, and then base your investment decisions off of it. And then the second one that is mentioned here is another one of our monthly series that we have, like a market review, this time for September, the past month. And this time we had a focus on stablecoins because it was a hot topic the last month because of the stablecoin bill draft in the US, which basically suggested a 2-year ban on algorithmic stablecoins. And just in general, stablecoins have been like very relevant, I feel like, this bear market, because before stablecoins were that popular, or even there, people had to kind of leave the crypto markets and convert to fiat during a bear market. But now people are staying around in stables. So we introduced 4 a bit lesser known, but very interesting projects that offer stables, one being Frax, and then Liquidity's LUSD, Alchemix's stablecoin, and Key or TDAO's Mai. So I think those are all really interesting projects. So if you want to learn more about it, you can read in the article.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Although I have to say, I don't think there's anything quite as terrifying as a bearish uptrend. That is, yeah. I hope to avoid one of those. That's a good one. All right. All right, so that brings us to the end of the main sort of news portion. And yeah, like we said at the beginning, make sure to check out that governance update that we linked to in the chat. That's sort of our main thing we're hoping people will do. Just have a look at that, give us your comments. And yeah, we'll move on to the Q&A portion of the show. And Houston, do you want to lead us off with the NFT, or what's your plan for that?
Oh yes, sir. Let's do it now. Let folks claim that as we get ready for the Q&A portion. So, can someone drop the link to the feedback form into the live chat? I'll just drop the link there. But yes, so it is time now for the NFT drop. Drum roll, please. Wait for the sound effects. Anyways, as always, the NFT is an exclusive one. Every single time we do one of these, we have our artist, our graphic designer in-house create a special NFT. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's design. So as always, if you want to claim the NFT, it is now found inside the feedback form that has been posted in the live chat. The feedback form is optional, but we'd love to hear from you. So we have a few questions to get your feedback and to capture any suggestions you may have for us to continue to improve these videos. So the first link in that feedback form is the link to the NFT. So click on that link and you can grab the NFT and claim it from the Galaxy website. As always, if you care about anonymity, first create a new wallet address so you don't dox yourself, or at least cross-contaminate your wallets. So that is that. Enjoy the NFT. You have an hour and 18 minutes to claim it.
Excellent. Thank you, Houston. Sure, that's in the chat. Baron Wizard says 32 watching and
already 1,000 claimed. Wow. Someone's got a lot of fast fingers. Just mashing on that button.
Yep, some people love NFTs. All right. Actually, there's 35 watching, so we're getting up to close to 1,000 now, step by step. All right. So I'll just scroll through the chat here, see if we have any questions. Yeah, we have one, Alex K, speculating that projects actually exploit themselves and run away with the money. I have had this thought in my mind as well. It's sort of an interesting conspiracy theory. Yeah, I'm one of those people who loves conspiracy theories, find it very interesting. So this is definitely a good one. I mean, it is true that, you know, the people who would know the project the best are the people who created it. So who knows? Although just talking to some of our users, it's very impressive how much they know about how our project works. So it is completely believable for me that it's, you know, a third party white hat or black hat or gray hat. Or maybe this is a new thing now that we're seeing people steal the money and then give it all back or a part of it back. All right. So Alex K asked what the plan is for the next 2 weeks. Great question. Yeah, right now we're really focused on just doing sort of behind the scenes updates. For example, that testnet UI thing is sort of like a behind the scenes type of thing. The various protocol parameters and tweaks to the liquidation mechanism, the insurance fund mechanism, all these kind of things that like don't really make a big immediate impact on users and usability, but they do make the protocol stronger, more solvent, and future-proof it against whatever might come in the future. So we're continuing with that focus. Let's see if I can find more information to share with you. I'm not sure if there's anything really major going on. Let's see. Yeah, actually, we do have in progress a few like pretty interesting integrations and more like tools on the liquidity providing side. So if you're an LP, there should be some interesting things coming out, but it's all sort of work in progress, and we'll be sharing more news about it, hopefully in the next community call in 2 weeks. So definitely don't forget to come for that. All right, let's see what other questions we have. Oh, we actually have a DeCommas person in the chat as well. Great to see you. Okay, an interesting question. Like we don't really talk about price of the Perp token, but someone's asking why the price pumped last Sunday or Saturday, depending on where you were. That's a great question, and actually we don't know the answer. But I mean, one reason is that the Perp liquidity is just not really, it's not like a huge amount of liquidity. So somebody can pump the price if they want to. And why it pumped exactly, yeah, nobody knows. But it does happen. So my personal recommendation, and this sort of like inverse financial advice, is that when you see it pumping, like definitely don't buy because there's a chance that it's going to come back down. For me, like I'm definitely a value investor. I see something that I think is like a legitimate project that's going to produce revenue in the long term, and that's what I go for. So when I see, pumps, yeah, if you see it pumping, don't buy. That's basically my personal advice, my personal inverse financial advice. So there you go. All right, I see that Baron Wizard is a fan of awkward silences. So let's see if we can get another while we're waiting for more questions. Maybe Baron Wizard, if you don't like the awkward silence, then you got to think of some questions to ask. I'll just check out our Discord, see if there's any questions there that we can answer that asked in the recent moments.
And while I do that, I'm looking at our NFT that we dropped just now. I don't see the 1,000 minted that Baron Wizard was saying. So I don't think it's we're getting bot attacked or Sybil attacked yet on this one. It's happened before, but this one here, it seems more organic. So thank you for the folks who are claiming we're part of this call.
No, I think he's just commenting on the fact that we've only got 30-something viewers, but our cap is 1,000. So he's maybe joking about our optimism. We are always optimistic. Yeah, so Baron Wizard, Wizard of Questions, is asking about the upcoming project roadmap. So in addition to like what I just mentioned about hardening the protocol and doing like behind the scenes tweaks to strengthen the stability and so on, we've got a bunch of different integrations coming up. Actually, one of my sort of like favorite integrations that has been in the works for a very long time, but is like really looking like it's about to arrive, is the Tea House vault, where you can deposit funds and Tea House will run automated strategies on your behalf to LP and do other things like basis trade. Actually, I don't know if they have basis trading, but they have a couple of different flavors of Vault. If you're interested in checking that out, definitely have a look at their Twitter. I don't think it's open for public right now. They've got a sort of closed beta for their sort of OGs and people who've been with their project for a while. But I do expect that to eventually become an open thing that anybody can join. Let's see. If you want to, I'm just going to post their Twitter in the chat. If you want to keep up with the latest, they're reasonably active posting stuff, and you can get the latest news from them and get the link there to their Discord and so on. Gooby PLS asks when fee sharing, which is an excellent question. Fee sharing is, this is sort of another thing that the team has been working on behind the scenes. To start fee sharing, a critical benchmark is to know how much open interest there is on the protocol. And actually tracking open interest is not a trivial thing. And we've been working on a way to reliably have that open interest metric available for people to look at and replicate for themselves. And as far as I know, we're getting closer to it. Our data guy has been working hard on it. I've seen in our task list that's been ongoing. So once we, we know it's a few months away still, but once we have that metric available for everybody to see, you'll be able to know exactly okay, where do we stand now and how much further do we have to go in the growth of the insurance fund before fee sharing starts. But I'd say ballpark is maybe around the end of the year. I don't want to promise, it could be sooner, it could be later. It all depends on the growth of the insurance fund, which relies on fee income. So the more trading there is, the more the insurance fund grows. So it's pretty hard. It's a little bit hard to call it, but it's coming. And actually, during the newsletter portion, we mentioned, or Leonie mentioned, that there's a cap currently on the amount of rewards you get from the lazy river. And that cap, as far as that cap will be removed actually when we switch to the USDC sharing. The cap right now is just because the rewards that you're receiving are in Perp. But once it's switched over to USDC sharing, then there will be no more cap. So that's pretty exciting. All right, we have Vanya from DeCommas asking if we plan to do calls with some DeFi influencers. I guess if some influencer wanted to have us on to chat about the project, we might go for it. But overall, we found influencers, obviously there's some really reputable and high integrity influencers out there. We haven't really worked hard on hooking up with any of them. And the other sort of a little bit more scammy influencers, we're definitely staying away from. So but we'd be happy to have guests on the community call actually. So Vanya, if you want to come on and join us, we'd be happy to have you. All right, we have a question also from Camilla Nuer. Any plan to increase leverage? Actually, this is definitely possible. As far as I understand, we could increase leverage safely up to 20x. The reason we haven't done it yet is in the past when we've raised this discussion with the community, there hasn't seemed to be a lot of appetite for increasing the leverage. But maybe things have changed. So if people want to increase leverage, the first step would be to start a post on our governance forum, which is gov.perp.fi. If you want to see higher leverage, that might be a good thing. And maybe you're not a trader and using the leverage yourself, but you strongly believe that higher leverage will bring more users to the protocol, and you want to launch that proposal, and that's also great. So it's open to anybody to launch a proposal, and we'll have a discussion and put it to a vote, and we can make that update. It just, so far, no one has come forward with a proposal. So that's the current situation. right, well, we're sort of running out of time, and I don't see any new questions popping up. So I think we will call it a night or a morning, depending where you are, or an afternoon. So yeah, it's been really great to have everybody on, and thanks for joining us. And we're very much looking forward to the next time.
Sounds good. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Cheers.